Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. Today I am creating my Kit Conspiracy layout along with a mixed media Mayhem layout. And our recipe for today was to use a 12 by 12 stencil, ink, and background stamps. So I started out with this paper from Midnight Garden from Photoplay. It's got a big floral down in the bottom corner, and I started doing my mixed media before I hit my camera on for some reason, so part of it's done up in the corner, but I used that large reversed chicken wire stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, and then I used a pouncing tool, which you saw me showing you there, the little brown pouncing tool. It has kind of like almost like a makeup sponge applicator on the tip that's really squishy, and then I just pounced my ink through the top, and I used pumice stone. And now I am also using some frayed burlap, I believe, to do some stamping. And that stamp is a really old stamp from Prima. It's just a text stamp. Any text stamp would do if you want to try to recreate this kind of a texture on your layout. That's all it is a kind of cursive handwritten font. That's very small. You could use any size. And then I'm going to go through and use a bunch of the ephemera pieces that were in the ephemera kit for Midnight Garden. So I'm using some of the frames, tucking them in the back to create kind of a border around my two photos. Now my two photos, one of them's a bit awkward because the horse is half off the photo and it looks like we're walking right off the page, but that's all I have. And sometimes that's what it comes down to, is what do you have and what can you use? So these are two photos of my brother and myself on one of the ponies down at my grandparents' house when we were kids, and then the other photo has my granddad in it. But I wanted to make sure I kept the one where the pony is walking off the page, because in that one we are actually both looking at the camera, my brother and I, not the pony and I. We're both looking at the camera in that one, and or over towards the camera, whereas in the other one you get the back of us. It's not really you can't see our faces at all. So I want to make sure that I kept that in there because of that. I did scan these photos. These aren't the originals. I scanned the originals on a Canon scanner, and I'll put a link down below for that so you can check that out if that's something that you're interested in. And anyway, I was able to reproduce them on my Canon selfie, and I just trimmed them down to a 3x4. Well, I printed them out of 3x4, mainly because there wasn't really a whole lot else in the photo. So I didn't figure I needed two photos that were slightly larger. They were kind of a weird size, like 3.5 by 4.25 or something to that effect. But I just trimmed them down, or I cropped them. I keep saying I trimmed them down. I cropped them in my photo editing software for the selfie. Okay, I have now used my ink. I have used a 12 by 12 stencil, and I have used a background stamp. I'm calling that little tiny stamp a background stamp, and I think a background stamp can be any size you want, as long as it is something that you use to create your backgrounds with, and that's what I'm doing. I don't think you have to use like a 12 by 12 stamp. That would be very cumbersome and difficult to use. I don't even know that they make them in 12 by 12, although I do know they make them quite larger than what I'm using today, but that's okay. This is what I had on hand and easy to get to, and so that's what I used. The paper also already did have a bit of text. You can see it in the bottom right hand corner, but it is much larger and spaced out quite a bit more. And so I am just playing off of what the paper has already given me to create my background. I'm just adding to it and building it up a little bit more. I really like the floral pieces, and I really love this chicken wire stencil, and I think it plays really nicely with that. And when I chose my colors, I just tried to choose something that was already represented in the color of the paper, and the text in the paper is kind of more of a gray brown, and that's why I chose the pumice stone. And then the florals have kind of more of an orangey brown, which is why I chose the frayed burlap. Sorry you guys, I don't normally voice things early in the morning, and I am voicing this one early in the morning. So I usually wait until my voice and my brain wake up just a bit. I haven't even had my coffee yet. So I am layering things up. I am layering up the little postage stamps, and I have pulled in a piece of one of the cut apart sheets. Well, I did pull it in, and that's what I got, this little saying that says something to smile about. It's from the cut apart sheet, which I cut up, and then I used the excess pieces behind my photo to just provide another layer. And then I'm going to use this cut apart sheet that I have in the right here that I'm cutting off. It's got the florals on it, and it's got like a half of a label, but I'm fussy cutting it out so I don't have quite as much of the dark paper there. I don't need the dark paper. I don't want it to be quite so heavy up in that upper right hand corner. And I'm going to use that and create another embellishment area. So I have kind of a diagonal design going upper right down to lower left. And I'm really happy so far with the way this is coming out. And I think I'm going to take those words that say something to smile about. That is going to be my title. And I'm going to kind of layer them over this piece that I am cutting out currently. And then I am also pulling in this awesome chipboard piece. This is from Dusty Attic, but I got it from MK. I'm not sure if this was actually in the monthly box. I believe it was, but it could also be available on her website. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll put a link down below either for the monthly box if that's what it was in. She has a monthly embellishment box where you get a variety of different items, and it usually has a stencil, a chipboard, some wood veneer, and maybe some acrylic as well. And so that's where this may have come from. Although it could also have been a standalone product in the shop. I don't really remember which one, but I loved it and I want to go ahead and use it. And I'm going to use all of it, you guys. That's pretty rare for me. I don't usually pile on a lot of the entire package of chipboard, especially when it's that size of a package. But I'm also leaving it natural. I don't want to add anything to it. I think the color of the chipboard just plays really nicely with everything on the background. And then because I'm tucking that into the background, or behind my photos, I am going to have to pop my photos up onto some foam. And that is what that pink stuff is. It's just craft foam from Walmart that is adhesive backed on one side. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. While I get all of those things placed, don't forget there are a bunch of people playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem. There is a playlist down below that you can go and check out. And you can go and give everybody else a little bit of love and see what they have created. There is also a Facebook group you can join for Mixed Media Mayhem. If you're interested in that, you would be able to go to the albums section and see the upcoming recipes or inspiration pieces that we are using, and you can play along with that as well. And there will be more inspiration posted in the Facebook group because we have people that are not YouTubers that play along, so you'll get to see their inspiration also. And we would love to have you join. As far as Kit Conspiracy, I have probably one or two more layouts for Kit Conspiracy this month, which if you're not sure what that is, it is a series that MK and I do in April and November each year. We use a kit for 1 week that matches each other, and we create as much as we can with it. And then the next week we switch kits. So we do that for the entire month. So there's 4 kits that are identical, and we are able to go ahead and create with those as much as possible and see what we do differently. We also have a Facebook group for that you can go and check out. We've got several friends playing along. This last couple of times we have offered the kits for pre-purchase in the shop over at Some Assemblage Required, and I will put a link down below for that as well as for this kit. I believe she still has a couple of these kits available, so that you can get that if that's anything that interests you, and you can go back and play along with us if you've missed any of April. Okay, I do have a layout for tomorrow as well, and then I think I'll have one or two for next week with using my leftovers. So the end of the month we just use the leftovers that we didn't use during the month, and whether we combine them or we use them as their original kits, it's totally up to whichever one of us is creating that day or whatever we decide. So anything goes. So here is all of that chipboard glued down. I'm really happy with the way that looks. I'm going to go ahead and glue this little title piece down. I really like how that looks. I think that's a really cute piece and keeps it very simple. Going to add some gold Heidi Swap color shine so that it gives it a little bit of pizzazz or a little bit of shine, and I really like that because it plays along really well with the gold tones. And I also have this gold marker that I'm using, and I am just doing a sketchy line all the way around the outside. Normally I do 2 sketchy lines when I use my Muji pen, but this marker has kind of a fat felt tip on it, and so I'm only doing 1 sketchy line. If I did 2, it would look like I actually had a gold border all the way around the outside, and I felt like the lines would overlap way too much. It would look like the line was just 1 line but fat and split in some areas. So just 1 line today all the way around the outside, and I do that just by dragging my arm straight down the page. I don't move my wrist or my fingers. I bend at the elbow and the shoulder to kind of drag down the page to make it as straight as possible, because I know a lot of people ask me, how do you get your lines so straight? And trust me, they're not perfectly straight, but they are pretty straight with the edge of the paper. I added a few enamel dots at the very end here, and that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, you can go ahead and leave those down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I do really appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos, so thank you for that. If you enjoyed this one, I would love for you to hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. I'm really do appreciate it, and I know you guys have tons of inspiration to watch out there. I appreciate that you chose my channel today, and I hope that you come back tomorrow to see another video. That is it. Don't forget to go check out what MK is doing on her channel and Mixed Media Mayhem. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.